All right, welcome everybody to StreamMasters Coaching, Organization, and Self-Care, hosted by yours truly, City John Joy, or City John, and my illustrious, endearing co-host, Retro Recap. How
Good
you doing
morning.
today, bro?
I'm doing wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Say, John, thank you for being here and dropping your gems. I can't wait to listen. We're gonna have a fun time.
Awesome, thank you. I'm excited to hear what you have to say too, because it's been a minute. Since we've come together in our space, so I'm super excited to hear what we have going on today from you and from um our participants in the chat today. So what is this? What is this class, family? What do we gather here every month for? Stream Masters is a master class and community for people who are creative entrepreneurs. A lot of people in our community are live streamers, hence the name Stream Masters. And the whole idea of this initiative is to help people learn how to optimize their live streaming, be able to enhance their channels, grow their communities, while also staying rooted in their self-care, in their own goals, and keeping themselves first and prioritizing themselves. Because it's easy to get spread thin with being in charge of an endeavor like that. You have your channel, you have all of your ideas and things that you would like to do. You have things that you were inspired by that you see other people doing. You respond to your community and there are things that you like to do to please them. And you want to be able to manage all of that while also prioritizing your self-care and making sure you're always operating from a place of authentic alignment. So that's why we come together and have these classes each month. Retro Recap really talks in depth about the whole streaming aspect. He is a dynamic entertainer, online and live streamer. And then where I come in is supporting with personal growth, self-care, tapping into that authenticity, and also behind the scenes stream organization, like moderation, scheduling, and things of that nature. So today we're going to talk a little bit about uh, planning, um, goal setting, and we might bring authenticity in there. I don't know, because that always finds its way into the conversation. So happy January, family. It is 2025. The new year has come. And a lot of times, and I'm speaking for me, the way that I grew up was people focused a lot on New Year's resolutions and starting the year strong with, really focusing on putting your goals out there and putting plans in motion. That's great. If that's your approach and it works for you, may everything work out for you, right? May we all do the things that work out for us. However, today we're going to talk about taking a slightly different approach uh, when it comes to using this time, this beginning of the calendar year in January, where we live in the Northern Hemisphere, it's still winter time. The earth is still in stillness and things have not begun to move yet. We can take a cue from nature and be on that same type time. Like if I look outside at these beautiful trees, I know that when spring comes, they're going to start budding. But right now, everything that's going on with those trees is happening underground. And we can't see it, but just because we can't see it doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of important things happening that's going to result in the growth and blooming of those trees in the divine aligned time for them, which we know is when spring starts. So how can we take a cue from nature and give ourselves a lot more grace, a lot more ease, and a lot more space to use this time for internal reflection, internal planning, seed planting, so that when spring is starting to emerge, not just out in the world, but also within us, those seeds that we planted are also beginning to come into bloom. Those visions that we've been percolating in our side of our minds are beginning to come into a lot more focus. Okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that goal setting piece. And I might have a resource to share with those who are interested. So we all have goals, right? How do we bring those goals that we see in our mind, right? In our hearts, in our visions, how do we bring them into reality? Because if you're here, then you likely have some type of live streaming channel or other creative endeavor that you want, that you're passionate about and that you want to see become manifest in our physical reality. So if you know me, you know I always say that whatever happens physically has already been happening on an energetic plane. And the energetic plane, family, that just means our mental and our emotional energy, okay? It's how we think and how we feel about things. So the first step in taking this holistic approach to our goal setting would be to really clarify and visualize what those goals are. Like, think about them and really feel into them, okay? How we do that? You can spend at least 5 minutes a day closing your eyes and visualizing. Yes, I literally mean like daydreaming, but it's daydreaming like 2.0, because when we visualize, sometimes, I don't know, I can't speak for y'all and y'all daydreams. I'm not inside of your mind. But sometimes daydreaming can be like frivolous or surface. But when we are really deeply into this daydream and attaching emotion to it, that visualization becomes that much more powerful. You might have heard people say things like, your thoughts create your reality. And there is some validity to that, but it's not only the things that we are thinking, but it is also the emotional energy that's generated with that thought. That is what attracts onto us, whatever it is that we see in our lives. So that's why we start with the visualization process and really feeling into it. Daydreaming, getting yourself, seeing yourself in your end result for your big goal and really focusing on that feeling. So if your goal is to, if your goal right now might be to say like, man, I really want to grow my channel so that I have a community that comes into my chat room, and and although I'm there and I might be playing a game or just doing something on the screen that's engaging or entertaining for them, they don't necessarily need me to start the conversation. Yeah, I'm talking and I'm vibing with them, but they have started to gel so well with each other that they've created their own community or their own relationships within the community that I'm building. So when they come into that chat, it's live, it's popping. People are greeting each other, they're saying what's up, they're checking in, they're having great conversation. You may see other people's chats thriving in that way and say, yeah, I know I can build my channel to be thriving in that same way. So start with the energetics of it. Feel your way into it. Focus on that feeling. How do you feel when you are sitting in your chair? You sitting in your gamer's chair. All right, so boom. How do you feel when you're sitting there and you're in command of your channel and whatever you're streaming that day, and people are coming in and they're saying, hey, what's up? What's going on, Juice? And then they're seeing some other people in the chat, and then they're vibing with them and talking to them. Or whatever your goals are, okay? How does that make you feel? Do you feel successful in that space? Do you feel like people admire you? Do you feel respected? Are you desiring to feel rich or wealthy? Do you just want to feel free or secure? Are you trying to feel popular? Are you trying to be known? Whatever it is that you're feeling, clarify, be authentic about it, and then visualize not just the actions or what's happening in a physical way, but also connect to the feeling of what that is. Okay. And so you might be saying easier said than done, City, because when I think about my goal and I realize that I don't have it yet, it's hard for me to feel the feeling that I know I'm going to feel when I finally do get that. Does that make sense? Okay. So how can you start to cultivate those feelings now. One way to start to cultivate those feelings now is to start to put yourself in the mindset of a person who already has all those things going for them. So a person who wants to feel, say your desire is to feel like freedom in the way that you move, in the way that you navigate the world. No one telling you what to do and this, that, and the third. Okay. What kind of decisions do people who have freedom and feel free in their lives, what kind of decisions do they make? What actions do they perform? What daily habits do they have? How do they speak about themselves and how do they speak about other people? What do they value? Okay. See, here it go. We may have been conditioned to think that it's like, oh man, all I really want to have is this thing. Whatever picture you all know what that thing is for you. So put that thing in your mind. And you're thinking, if I only had that one thing, I will be able to do all these things. And then that is what's going to make me feel happy. Right? If I have this thing, I'll be able to do this, do more, go here. Right? And then I'll finally feel happy. And family, that conditioning is backwards, it's limiting, and it needs to be released, okay? Because we don't attract what it is that we want. We attract what it is that we are. So if your desire is to feel free and you're thinking, if I had this, say, for example, amount of money, then I would feel more free and then I would be more happy. Well, consider what could you do now to cultivate more freedom and ease in your life? You can start to generate what it means to be on that frequency of freedom right now. And as you're doing that, the goals that you set, right? The steps that you take will be more aligned to that goal. So what I'm offering and inviting us to think about is instead of when I have this, I can do this and then I'll feel better. What if it is, I feel better now? I'm choosing to feel like this is what it feels like. I already feel successful, right? Don't we, come on, y'all. We limit ourselves with our speech when I'm successful. You're successful right now, right? You can feel the success all over you right now if you choose to. It does start with a choice, okay? And sometimes it's hard to choose to feel that way when you look around and you see in your physical reality things that don't match the feeling that you want to have. I know. Okay. But it is accessible for us to do that practice and feeling it first, right? And then allowing those aligned experiences to attract to us that will allow us to feel it even more. Do not take my word for it. Try it for yourself and see the proof in your own experience, okay? So you can do a personal self-assessment and compare where you are now, and that'll show you where your own personal gaps are. You know, for example, like there are some habits that I have been enacting that I really enjoy doing. Like I really like doing them. But when I look around, I look around and I say the truth is the people who are where I desire to be in life do not do those things. And if they do them, they probably do them in a little bit more moderation, or they don't do them in a way that they're like flaunting it. Like, you know, mm, the entertainment industry is a mother effer because it kind of gives a false illusion of what it means to have fun and be free. But the people who are where I desire to be, they're it's a different level than like the people we see in like the music or movie industry, right? So that's telling me, okay, Joy, you see what you are doing currently in your life that is a misaligned habit to where you say you're desiring to go. Are you waiting to have a certain piece of the pie or a certain figure in your account to say, okay, I can stop doing that habit now? Or can you take your own power back in your life and say, I can release that habit now because I know it's not fruitful. And when I release that habit, I know that I'm opening myself up to more fruitful habits that are going to get me to where I desire to go. Okay, so that's the first piece, doing that self-assessment, compare that to where you are now and show you where your own gaps are. The other part about this is, family, is that we don't need to go far to find out what those authentic goals are. Okay, your authentic goals are already within you. You just have to reconnect to them. What lights you up? Okay, what brings you joy? What makes you so excited that you would do it every single day if you were allowed to, if you had the time, space, and freedom to? And how can you create more time, space, and freedom in your life right now to do it even just 5 minutes a day? Okay, what's your unique message, talent, gift, or approach? All right, unless you're a pro gamer, most people probably aren't coming to see you play a game. They can go to YouTube for that, for real, for real. So like, what do you do that sets you apart, and why are you doing it? Are you following a trend, or are you in your alignment? And sometimes we might need to hop on trends, not just because we want to open things up for ourselves, but sometimes the trending things are aligned with our frequency. But we have to be able to be connected so much within our authenticity to know when that is the case. So when that's revealed to you, keep in mind, whatever it is, that thing that lights you up, keep in mind that you might not be seeing the full picture of it. You might be given a vision of what it looks like in the beginning, or maybe you might see the whole end goal, but you might have no idea how to get there. It's okay. Don't focus so much on bringing that whole picture to life on your own, because what will happen is when you become open to the process of receiving what you need, because you already decided, I feel successful, I feel free, I feel wealthy. What happens is the things that you might need to support you are going to start to show up in your life. Okay. I'm going to use Retro Recap, for example. All right. Retro Recap had been doing content creation for years, okay, before we met. He didn't just start doing this when me and him met each other. He had been doing it for years. He always has had big dreams about himself and his brand. He's always seen himself going there, okay? But at some point in Retro, I didn't tell you I was going to tell the story, but I'm going there. So I love you. Okay. He got to a place within himself where he realized he had to be courageous. You got to be courageous enough to reflect this deeply. But he reflected on his strengths and the things that were challenging him. And he was able to admit to himself that in order to get to the next level in his vision, he would need a certain level of genuine support. So he, in his way, prayed for that. Okay, y'all can ask him what that looks like in his life. If he wants to share it with you, he will. A few months later, right? I didn't know he was doing all this in his secret place, using his mental and emotional energy to call this into his life. I had no idea. But one day, what I was doing somewhere miles away was watching Twitch, and the person I was watching, they got offline, and I felt some type of energetic pull that told me, you're not finished on this app yet. Go do something else. Go find someone else to watch. So I followed that divine guidance. I believe that that's what it is. And I was led to search someone who was playing Sonic. At this time on Twitch, I only followed a couple categories, and Sonic was one of them, and retro games and music. I think those are the three categories that I followed at that time. So I checked up on the Sonic category, and I said, there's a brother right now playing Sonic. Let me jump in here and see what's going on. Okay. So that's what happened, and we are here now. To fill in some of that backstory, what ended up happening was a personal and professional relationship bloomed, where he saw something in me that showed him, like, this woman is the answer to the prayer that I had of finding someone to help me organize and build more structure to the platform that I'm building. I'm the creative juice here. I already got all that. All right, but I do need some support with keeping it organized so that I don't lose track of myself, so that I don't lose track of the visions, right? Okay, 4 years later, Retro can speak for himself about the impact that the partnership has had on his personal and professional lives. All right. So the point here is to remember, we don't always see the full picture. We don't always know all the necessary steps to be taken, but the purpose is to be present with yourself in the present moment, present, hello, gift. That's what the gifts are, the gems. Be strong enough to be vulnerable with yourself about who you are. All right. So you can work from that place to further your alignment. So he was honest with himself and said, I have all this creativity, but I do need some support with structuring it. All right. Alignment within and alignment with those outside of you who are sent to support you. That's when you get to make the magic happen. That whole match made in heaven thing, that's real. And it's not just about a romantic partnership. You can consider that Retro and I are in that category because I feel so abundant when I get a chance to work for the platform and work for the channel and do all the things that I do to support his organization and structure. Whatever y'all see happen, in front of the camera, a lot of attention and time goes into that to make sure that he has what he needs, to make sure that he's fully satisfied, to make sure that whenever he comes on stream, he's always giving to the audience from a full cup, and he's always giving from his place of overflow, not lack. Okay. So you might, let me see. Let me pause there because I think that I keep hearing the chat is going wild. So let me see what's popping in the chat right now. Any questions? Anyone have anything they want to say? What is this? Porcupine. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, cool. All right, so no questions. Any questions that anyone has? Because I'm about to share a couple more things that are coming up, and then I'm going to pass it over to Retro Recap. Okay, so yes, I appreciate you. I don't even know what that's about, but I am just reciprocating the appreciation. You may have a smaller goal that can be put into steps, but it's easier for you to manage those because you can actually see them. Like I just talked about, the things we got to let go of. All right. Some things we have to release to make room for what it is that we desire. You know what they are. You don't need a city to tell you, but those are the time wasters, the unfruitful habits, unsupportive situations, and unsupportive people. Okay. When we align with our authenticity and release those things, you're opening yourself up to a wealth of support that is genuine and meant for you. All right, one more thing before I do pass it over to Retro. Remember, y'all, celebrate all of your accomplishments, no matter how small you might think they are, or no matter how important they may be to other people. If it's important to you, it is worth celebrating. All right, so you may set a goal to maintain a regular streaming schedule, and you hit every single day in a full week that you set your mind to. That's worth celebrating. Okay. You might decide, I want to get my community built up, and when I want to get more into the swing of streaming, I want to meet new people. So I'm going to sign up for the Retro Gang Raid Train. That's worth celebrating because you took a step. You may switch to you may have gone from 5 minutes of scrolling on social media and replace that with 5 minutes of intentional visualization. And you may do that consistently for a whole 3 days straight. That's worth celebrating. You might decide to go through the people that you follow on your social media and remove the ones who are not serving where you are in your life right now because their content isn't helping your growth. Okay. That is worth celebrating. Release the idea that because we're close to the end of January, you need to have your entire 2025 planned out right now. It's okay to just have an idea. Or even if you do have it all planned out, great. But if you don't, that's still great. And release any pressure that you are behind the curve if you don't have it all together right now. All right. And remember that same thing. If what you have planned out doesn't work exactly as you planned it, because other things that are bigger and better beyond your wildest dreams may be in the works for you. Okay. So family, that's what I have for you today. I will share the goal setting worksheet in the follow-up email if you are interested in using that as a resource to support you with aligning to your goals. And if you are interested in working with me further to support you with those endeavors, my contact information will be in the email as well. Retro.
All
Can
right.
you?
Well, I think first we need to give a clap up for City John for that. Clap it up, everybody. That was
Thank,
wonderful.
thank you.
That was wonderful. That was
Thank,
wonderful. And it's funny. First of all, good morning, well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to first say that it's funny that when we do these things, we talk about this all the time. How we don't actually talk about what we're going to say in these things, but I actually had a little bit of what City John was talking about in my portion of this here, and let's get right into it. We talked about it a little bit in one of the sessions, but I want to talk a little bit about it today, and that is uh, your identity, and more specifically, your streaming identity. And so she talked a lot about who are you, and that's kind of a little bit what I want to talk about in regards to streaming. Um, because she mentioned about me having big dreams about content creation, and at that point in time, when it was a dream, and I hadn't yet like dug into it yet. That was some of the things on my mind. Like, well, what exactly do I want to do on here? What exactly am I trying to do? What is my purpose? And over the course of time, I found my purpose, but it was due to the help of other people. And but before we get too deep into that, let's go into it. So who am I? And these are questions that you just want to ask yourself. Well, write it down. And even if you don't have an answer to the question, um, write it down because it's going to come back later in your streaming journey. Who am I? What am I trying to do? And then if you have an answer to who am I, the key thing you want to do is not let others shape who you are and what you want to be. And that's a principle just in life in general. But when it comes to streaming, do not let others shape who you are and want to be. Reason why I bring this up, especially this week, because I've been very active in a lot of channels, just me trying to meet new people. Because at the end of the day, it's a brand here, and we're trying to put people on and get people to see what we do. And it's just surprising to me when I go to other channels how it's like people try to shape what they want the broadcaster to be, and then the broadcaster kind of gets out of himself. For example, I'll see somebody playing a game and like the chat is saying play this, play that, and the broadcaster is like, no, but I want to play this. I just want to play this. It's making me happy. But there are people in the chat that are not giving the broadcaster his grace and peace to let him do what he do. And so that's a big piece here, because if you're not aligned and you're not satisfied to those things that your community or your audience wants you to do, you could feel like you're not serving your purpose. And so that is big, because if you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're trying to do, others can definitely shape who they want you to be. And it's happened to me before over the course of time, where it's like, when I always tell people like, hey, give me some gaming ideas. Now, a lot of people that give me gaming ideas, at least I would like to think because of the rapport that we have built over 3-4 years now, you kind of know what retro likes. And so I said, please don't give me something that I'm not going to play, because I know who I am. I know what I'm trying to do. I know the content I'm trying to produce. And I also know that if I'm playing a game that I know I don't like, or I'm not going to like, just because it was asked of me, I can't give you the best version of me. So that's a big piece there, because you're going to get out of yourself. Now, once again, that all stems back to who are you? So I'm going to talk about me for a second. Who am I? And a lot of these answers did not happen the very initial time I started Twitch. But who am I? It's in the bio. I was talking about this with Ray LaFlame the other day. It's like I'm not a streamer. I'm an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference from a person that gets on and streams and a person that gets on with the idea that I am going to entertain first. This is all entertainment. Streaming in a way is entertainment, but just streaming a game versus actually entertaining is two different things. I'm an entertainer. I'm a podcaster, a game show host. You know what I'm saying? The face of the raid trains. You know what I'm saying? But those are questions that I can answer now definitively and confidently because I know who I am. And so uh, you want to ask yourself, who are you, and who am I, and who am I not? Because who am I not will shape out to who you are and what you're trying to produce on stream. So with me knowing that I'm trying to be, I want to entertain. I want a reaction out of people. I want people to laugh. I want people to soak in the wisdom. Shit, you might even cry. We've had people cry on stream before. You know what I'm saying? You want to get an engagement. That's my whole purpose of why I do what I do. I know there's a charisma in me that I can provide. Those are things that I know I can do with the very minimum effort. I know that those things I can do. Now, just relying on just the bare minimum is not going to get you to where you want to be. But what it does is it shapes out at least an identity for you. I always like to use the word profile. It shapes out a profile for who you are and what you want to be. Meaning that if you know that others can't come in there and dictate what they want you to do on your stream, like I always say, the foundation. I hope that the people that come in and watch a retro recap stream are coming for me. You know what I'm saying? More so than the game. Because at the end of the day, me over the game is why I want people to be there. Like say John said earlier, anybody can play a game. You know what I'm saying? Most people watch strictly gameplay on YouTube. That's not to say that people don't watch gameplay on Twitch. If they love the creator enough, they'll do that. But most times you'll see that on YouTube. So what can I do? What can I do for my profile wise to get people to enjoy me more than what they're watching on the screen in terms of the game? And so that's where you got to dig deep. You know, if you get on stream and you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're trying to do, it will be a lot of trial and error. And I'm not saying that getting on and not knowing who you are is a bad thing, because a lot of times you can learn that through by getting on. You know what I'm saying? It's not everybody is not going to be able to just understand their profile, who they are when it comes to streaming off the rip. Sometimes you do have to get in the trenches and dig in there and really figure out who you are. Play some games like, oh, okay, I'm really good at this, or play some games and you realize that you get a heavy engagement out of the people that watch. Okay, maybe this is me. I'm enjoying it. The community is loving it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times sometimes you have to figure it out on the spot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some understand what they are, who they are, where they want to be before they hit the go live button. Some are figuring it out as they are live through trial and error. Either way, you have to ask yourself that question, because at the end of the day, you can't be 2, 3, 4, 5 years in. Most successful channels, 3, 4, 5 years in, understand who they are, what they want to be, what their goals are. See, John talked about this earlier. What are your goals? It don't have to be nothing major. Just start with some smaller goals on a smaller scale and just work your way up. Get that level of satisfaction. Well, okay, I want to get 50 followers. Okay, that's a smaller goal, but it's a big goal when you really think about it, because once you accomplish it, you feel good. It motivates you to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And so it all plays a role. A lot of successful content creators, streamers, they're not struggling with self-identity or stream identity. Uh, if they've been in the ball game for 4 or 5 years, a lot of people that you don't see content create no more, especially like during the pandemic time, is because one, they didn't have the passion for it. Really, they wanted it for the money, or two, it was they were in the house and they wanted something to do. But the ones that are still doing this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years into it, trust, but best and believe they have an identity, they have a profile, they know what they are and what they're trying to do. You're not going to see people dictate those streamers and what they're doing. This really sit there and analyze. And when you're watching streamers that have been around in the ball game for years, they already have a profile of what they're trying to do. You don't see their viewers or their community dictate to them who they should be. They already know, because the successful ones understand what it takes to give their audience the show that they need. And so when we're talking about on as a smaller streamer getting started, just write those questions down. I sent a message to Noah while Sage was talking, and he probably, I don't know, he might not understood what I was meaning at the time, but get the notebook, and I'm pretty sure Noah probably already does that, but get the notebook, get the pen, get the paper, get the pencil, do whatever you gotta do, and just ask yourself these questions. Um, and if you are in the game already, if you've already hit the go live button a few times, and some of these questions I'm about to mention pop up in your head, think about it. So one question is, why am I not getting the community engagement that I want? So let's say you go live and you're just not getting any engagement. You're not getting, not that we look at the view count, but you're not getting the view count that you want. You have to ask yourself the question, well, why am I not getting that? You know what I'm saying? And what can I do to get that? All right. So it all goes back to, well, what are you trying to do? Because you're not going to get engagement the way you want if you don't even know what you're trying to do. And so having that all planned out, or at least internally, to know what am I trying to put on here? Am I getting on just to get on, or am I getting on with a purpose? You know, and the community engagement will come with that. You know what I'm saying? The community engagement will come when you understand what you're trying to do, who you are, and who your target audience is. A lot of people are not figuring out who their target audience is. Most people, YouTube, Twitch, they know, their subscribers know that when they upload a video, they know exactly what it's going to be about. Maybe not exactly what it's going to be about, but the theme and topic of what it is. Because that's what I subscribe. I subscribe to people, especially on YouTube, because based on their previous content or work, I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm interested in this. Okay, so I know when they drop their next video, it's probably going to be about this. They've already created that identity for themselves, their purpose of why they do what they do. And so it's the same way. I get this all the time. I always get people, even when I'm looking to rate people, you'd be surprised how many people are watching Kai Cenat on their stream. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I get that Kai Cenat is big time, and everybody wants to be a Kai Cenat. But it seems like to me, and this is just me gauging the temperature. I don't know this for a fact. I don't talk to people enough but it seems like everybody wants to be Kai Cenat instead of wanting to be the best them. Because Kai Cenat, best to believe, Kai Cenat is him and not no one else. Kai Cenat is not a person that you can look at and be like, oh, he's imitating or he's copying this person. Like, Kai Cenat is him. And let's be real here. Kai Cenat is not trying to be Retro Recap. Kai Cenat is not trying to be City John. Kai Cenat is not trying to be Juice. Kai Cenat is not trying to be Noah. Kai Cenat is Kai Cenat. And that's why he is what many people consider a one of one. So, but he understands who he is, what he's trying to do. He puts all his eggs in the basket and and goes all in. He has a great team around him of people that are dedicated to his work and his passion and his craft and his goals. So the question is, you want to ask yourself, well, why can't it be me? It can be you, but you gotta have that. You gotta all those things I mentioned earlier, and that Sage John mentioned earlier about having goals and who are you. It all plays a part in this, because to be the streamer that you want to be, to get the engagement that you want to be, you have to first ask yourself these questions, because you won't go where you want to go if you don't have those questions answered. And so, like she said, give ourselves a lot more grace, a lot more peace. You get on, and you're I talk about this with Tiffy and City, but just do it. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself more grace and more peace, even if you don't get the results you want. It's not about beating yourself up about the results that you didn't get. It's more about being appreciative and giving yourself grace that you actually went and did it. You know what I'm saying? That self-discovery is a big piece here. And sometimes you're not going to find the self-discovery off the rip. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, I'm up until maybe 2023, I was still trying to figure out. I knew I had pieces of it, but I wasn't all there. I know where I'm trying to be now. I know where I want to go, and I know what I have to do in order to take it to the next level. I'm actually working on a piece very soon. Matter of fact, I need to get with Juice about this, but I'm working on a piece for Patreon. It's gonna be called Raw is Retro. Just kind of like how Raw is war for like WWE is gonna be Raw is Retro, and it's gonna be real raw and unfiltered content, really going in a little deeper about who am I and what I was and where I am now, and shedding a lot of dead weight to get where I want to be, because you don't want baggage, you don't want drama, you don't want anything going into where you're trying to go. You can't take that with you. If you're trying to ascend, especially in the streaming world, gaining affiliate, gaining partner, or just getting partnerships in general, you can't have dead weight on you, because what that's gonna do is gonna be baggage, and it's gonna be on your mental about all this extra shit. And when it comes time to being the best version of you, you have to put your best foot forward. You gotta shed the skin. You gotta lose the weight uh, of having a lot of extra shit that you don't need on you. And so reality is, like you said, give yourself more grace. Be thankful, appreciate that you uploaded a video. Be thankful that you did go live, regardless of the results. The results is something to just be able to go back and look on, and determine where you want to go next, how to gauge it. But it should not be a measuring stick to say I'm not performing well because of if you didn't get the results you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? It's a chance to reflect, analyze, and be like, okay, I upload a YouTube video, for example, it got 2 views. I expected this bad boy to get 50. Okay, so then you don't beat yourself about the 2 views. You appreciate, you thank yourself for going live or uploading the video. You did that because everybody can't do a YouTube video. It's as simple as it is. It's not everybody can do that. Everybody doesn't want to do that. So step one is to thank yourself for doing it. 2, okay, it got 2 views. What could this video have done to garner more here? What could it have done to garner more here? You know what I'm saying? It's a reflection period, and you move on. You know what I'm saying? But give yourself that peace of mind to know that, hey, it's not all what the results say, because at the end of the day, you did it. And so bringing your goals to life is exactly it. Like, everybody has goals in everything. You know, everybody has goals, things they want to be. We talked about dreams earlier, having dreams. Everybody has that. I mean, let's be real. Everybody had a goal or a dream of something. Um, and when you ask yourself the question, well, if you have not if you have not fulfilled that goal, that dream, why not? Do I have a passion for it? Do I love what I do? Because trust me, best believe, when it comes to streaming, if you don't love what you do, you don't like what you do, you don't love what you do, if you don't have that passion for it, trust me, it's not going to be fun. It's going to look like you're just doing it just to do it. And it should be all about the passion for it. You know what I'm saying? We have these coaching sessions, and I get real animated with these coachings because it's something I love to do. It's not something where I feel like I'm just getting on here and just, oh, let's hurry up and get this hour over with so I can move on with my life. No, it's something that I enjoy doing. And I'm just going to share on a personal tip, and this is a little bit of me shaping into what I want to be. I'm gonna get a little raw real quick, um about these coaching sessions and me understanding who I am and what I'm still in that phase a little bit of trying to figure out the best version of myself. And so these coaching sessions that we have, uh, raw is retro is with what I'm working on. I already got a couple topics, and honestly, I've been talking to people, and they have been shaping out topics for me. Like, literally, I've been having conversations with people, and they are giving me topics to talk about. Like, it's great. And so anyway, these coaching sessions, where me and Say John do, we bring this content to you guys because we love what we do. And honestly, I've been giving people a lot of good advice, a lot of good information, a lot, just, you know, And so I'm learning about myself. Like me and Ray LaFlame had a 12-hour conversation a couple weeks ago. Just really like, and I was learning more about myself about like, damn, I need to be some level of I don't even know what you would even say. Like we literally just talked about life, and I was literally trying to give him pieces of life that could really benefit him. And with the streaming, I'm learning things about myself that I didn't even know. Like, but the more and more I talk to people, I'm like, damn, I could fit in this role. This is a good role to be in for me. To just like people literally talk like you'd be surprised how many people. And this is not a coaching. This is just I'm just sharing you with you guys a lot of what's going on, but you'd be surprised like how many people share their life about, with me, like things that you would think are personal to people, how people just come up to me and just start sharing stuff. I don't ask for it, people just share. And so the ability to be for people to be open about that kind of stuff with me, because it happens all the time. I'm just be like, wow, I'm really shocked that I know this much information about this person. People feel comfortable enough to go there, and it's like, okay, so why is that? Why retro? Why is it? Why are you the person that people do that with? And I embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Because that means I'm doing something, or I'm something for other people that they feel comfortable enough to do that. And so I'm learning about myself. I'm still learning about myself. I talked about this about a month ago on stream. After the streaming stuff is over, what is my next phase in life? Well, I'm already getting the seeds planted for that. So whenever this content stuff, starts to be a thing of the past, because it will be at some point, you know what I'm saying? Maybe as in terms of how we see it right now. Like as far as I don't see myself doing Twitch for the next 10 years. Who knows if Twitch is gonna be around for 10 years. But the seeds are getting planted for what my next phase in life is. And I'm getting that from just having generic conversation with people. Like I'm getting like blueprints of what myself will look like in a few years just by having the conversations. And so that goes back into the who am I? Okay, who am I? I'm learning about myself. I'm learning more about myself as the days, the months, the years go on. I know a lot more about myself than I did 3 years ago. I know a lot more about myself than I did when I first started Twitch. I know a lot more about myself than I did when I first started YouTube. And so we're constantly learning about ourselves every single day. And when it comes to this as a content creator, like the kind of content I was producing on YouTube versus now, drastically different. The kind of content I was producing when I first started Twitch versus now, drastically different. The kind of content, kind of things I say now, last year is different than what I'm currently in now. So it's like the evolution continues, continues, and continues. Because this is great stuff. And the more and more the more and more I'm having these, like, listen, me and Ray LaFlame talk for hours. Honestly, I could have been like, you know what, buddy, like, let's be real. Like, I should be charging you for this kind of stuff. But I also realize at the same time, like, listen, I understand why people come to me and share these things with me. They see me as something. And I know that I am doing something right for people. And it's like, no, that's kind of crazy if I sit there and be like, no, bro, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people look up to me for these type of things, and that's a piece I'm gonna talk about in my Raw as Retro, is about being a positive influence and not worrying about not overthinking that. People, if people see you as an influence, then you're doing something for humanity. And just focus on my purpose. So I'm working on things to shape myself to be a better overall human being and a beacon of light for people. It's not about the views. It's not about the view count. It's about what kind of impact, and I posted this on my story yesterday. What kind of impact or influence are you having on humanity? It's not about the fame, the fortune, and not about none of that. It's like, what are you doing for humanity to make humanity overall a better place? And so these conversations that we're having about these coaching sessions are an example of an impact or influence that we're having with the community. How can we make the community better? What can we do to make the community better? How can we be an influence to the community? These sessions, the raid trains, anything community event related, it's all done with as a community. We're trying to make the community happy. We're trying to make it more peaceful. We're trying to make sure the vibes are right. We're trying to make sure that everything, the temperature check with the community is great, so that they can go out there and produce a positive product or whatever, and whatever they do, that we can have some type of influence in that. And so that when it comes down to it, which is identity, it all starts with who are you? Because I wouldn't be able to say anything that I'm saying right now unless I understood who am I. So that's really where I wanted to go with there. And you can see how just identifying who you are goes a long way. And when it comes to streaming, you know what I'm saying? It's just, in order to get where you want to get to, you have to know your profile, what are you trying to do, and not be tempted to let others shape you to who you want to be. Because like I said, you'd be surprised how many times I've got on and people wanted me to be or wanted me to do this, and it is just something I didn't want to do. And I've done that, and I just didn't feel good doing it because it wasn't me. And so sometimes you just gotta stick to it and be like, I know who I am, and I'm not gonna do this because you want me to. And so yeah. So that's it for me. As far as the piece about that we do, I was getting ready to talk about that in terms of my coaching sessions. I'm actually gonna be structuring it a little bit differently in terms of, I've already done it on a smaller scale with the pay cycle, because I'm just realizing being a beacon of light is very important, and I want to make sure people are getting the most out of me based on what my talents and skill sets can offer. So there is a donate option here for coaching classes that I'm going to put there. I highly recommend you use that one. Now the other tutorial stuff, yeah, that might still be the same, but anything in regards to just streaming psychology, just book a session and hit the donate option. We can talk about the financial part later, but I want to make sure that you are being provided with everything you need to make sure that you can provide to humanity in a better way. And also just internally, that your streams and your content be what they need to be. And so that link is there. Definitely book something. It's worth it. Me and Sejan do these things because we want to. We love to do it, and that's where it starts from. We're not doing this as a chore. We're doing it because we want to, and this is fun. So that's all I have to say there. That's it for me. I didn't get a chance to read the comments here, but I will. But that's it for me. I guess City John, if you want to take over the remaining couple minutes here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Recap. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that. I wanted to add a couple things to that because it's so important what you were talking about. I love that topic. You know what I'm saying about who you are and remaining authentic to who you are, regardless of whatever is going on. Like, first of all, I will stream to Juice and Juice alone for an hour, 2 hours sometimes before sick people come in. Sometimes they don't come in. And it's because and it doesn't matter to me because I'm doing whatever it is that I enjoy doing in the way that I enjoy doing it and spreading my message. It might not resonate with everybody who might currently follow me. That's why I keep doing it, so I can attract those who it does resonate with, so they can join the community and be able to tap into something that they also like doing or like to learn about. Something else that you mentioned, Retro, about the people coming in and trying to dictate. I would like everybody to look up a term. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Look up this term, parasocial relationships. Can I spell it right though? There you go. To understand how the relationships between entertainers and fans, or, I don't want to say fans, but viewers. Some of people are fans, let's be clear. But sometimes those relationships can have blurred lines where the fans might begin to feel more entitled to the entertainer's time, their attention, to dictate what they're doing during the live streams, because they feel the entitlement because they may be a regular subscriber, or they may be a regular supporter with donations or tips. They may speak supportive a lot in their chat room, always there whenever they go live, or in other endeavors that they're doing. They may be always supporting them. So they may feel like a level of entitlement, like, oh, well, if I say you should do this, then you should be doing this. but that is, it's all energetic, family, okay? And that has, the energetics of that have a lot to do with the parasocial relationship. And feeling that you might be closer to someone than you really are, and you don't know them in real life. But because of the way that you interact with them online, you feel like that. So sometimes when people come into our chat rooms with that kind of energy, if we don't know who we are, it could influence us to say, oh, well, they do be tipping. So let me get up on here and dance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, it's over for that. We don't need to be doing anything like that. So what else did I want to say? Oh, the other part about who are you? Um, who I am is separate from what I do. Okay. So when you're tapping into that who you are piece, make sure that you really are tuning into who you are and how you feel on the inside, separate from what you do. When you know who you are, what you need to do becomes clear and there are no obstacles in your way. So, Retro, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I think that was well said. And this topic is a favorite of mine too. And like I said, if you want to know, if you want to delve deeper, for anybody here that you want to delve deeper into that, more on a streaming side specifically, I am definitely here. Definitely book a session. It's a topic I love to talk about because I'm big on individuality.
Mhm.
And so I don't want to see I don't want to see a lot of recaps. I want to see a lot of individual cells. And
Mhm.
so,
And I don't want to see people pretending to be people that they're not.
mhm,
No, I don't want, I mean, but whatever, but I would rather not see that because
mhm,
it's hard for me to really genuinely connect with you. And it,
agreed.
and I can sense it. I can sense when you're not being genuine. So yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. I agree. So, but yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you,
Thank you
Sejan, for
so
that.
much. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And we'll see you next time for our monthly installation of Stream Masters. Everyone, take care and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Have a good one.